Hey, Fram, how y'all doing?
Hey, Fram.
Yo,
Hey,
what's
everybody.
Going
Come on in. The Family Fridays is here, and we are excited. How y'all doing?
I'm
Doing
good.
good.
Wonderful.
Seems so long for me at work. 4 to 8 weeks seems so long and busy.
Yeah. This remote schedule that we're on, sometimes going into the office is like,
Hate it.
yeah.
Hate it.
I love it. So I love being at home, not love going into the office. I
I
love
was
the
gonna
remote.
say,
I love it. Come on, everybody, say hey to us. We're waiting on some people to join in. Looks like we have 14 people. Say hi to us. Tell us how your week has gone. I know most of us are remote. Some of you all are remote. Tell us what's going on. We want to chat with you for a minute before we get started into this amazing topic that we have today. So, hey to us. How y'all doing? Welcome to the Family Agenda, the Family Fridays. Today's topic is one for the books. I can't wait till we get into it. X Games is the topic for tonight. And we're going to talk about letting go of the past. We'll bring it in.
My God.
It's going to be a good one. Lady C is in the
hey, Lady
building.
C.
Hello, family.
I didn't invite my mama tonight because
Listen. Forgive us in advance.
Yeah, we're gonna tell some secrets tonight, huh? We're gonna tell some secrets tonight. Well,
Yes,
while we're waiting on people to say something, like one of the things that we wanted to introduce into our space is kind of these impromptu icebreaker conversation starters. So I'm up here twiddling with this deck. It's a conversation starter kit that we it's from Sound It Out. I'll find out if we can kind of tag them. Oh, actually we can. Sounditouttogether.org. No, this is not a paid promo, but shout out to sounditouttogether.org. Thank you for giving us this conversation starter kit. So what we're going to start doing is pulling like two cards from this deck, random cards from this deck, introducing it to the family, kind of start some conversation and see where it goes. So top of the deck, first card to pull. Topic is, drum roll please, friendship. Isn't that amazing?
go
Wow.
Friendship is the topic, and it says, how do you feel while hanging out with your friends at work?
What?
How about after? So basically, if you have friends or coworkers or peers at work, how do you feel about hanging out with them after work hours? Is that a no or is that something that you're open to?
Who going
It
first?
depends.
Me personally, I feel because I just celebrated what? No, I just celebrated my birthday yesterday, and a lot of my people from yesterday were like my close coworkers who I trust. So there are some, I feel, coworkers that you have to put in the space only dealing with you with work, and there's coworkers that you'll deal with them outside of work based on that foundation of trust.
And then it's another thing to call coworkers your friends. Like if you call them your friends, then it's probably a different type of relationship because my coworkers are my coworkers. My friends are my friends. And I have work friends that have kind of, crossed that line of being closer to me so we can hang out outside of work. But no, I can't go out with all of my coworkers.
I definitely can't go out with all of my coworkers, but I do have, I could speak to one of my closest friends. One of my absolute closest friends was a coworker. Like, over the course of 11 years, we have grown amazingly close. I mean, she's my daughter's godmother. That's how close we are. And so that is one instance that I have had a coworker that was a listening ear. Our friendship evolved into something bigger, and that's a girl. So I'm not gonna say I closed the door to it, but I will say I walk a very fine line with people at work, and I have to really get to know you before I even open the door to even a personal conversation. So yeah, BJ.
No, I mean I agree. I agree with everybody. I'm very similar to what everybody else is saying. Even when it comes to social media, I'm very particular about who I allow to like follow me on social media. Not that I'm necessarily hiding anything, but people just misinterpret, what you put out there. As a marketer, like I work in marketing, so and as a people leader, of course, one of the things we do is if I'm interviewing or hiring somebody, I'll go look for their social media because we're client facing a lot. And so a lot of social after work socials are client facing for me. And so one, I am, yes, very careful on who I hang with after work hours, even after social work hours, and what that even looks like. I will say that also, some people can get away with certain things after work hours and some cannot. And I'll let you all interpret
Can you expound?
Can
you expound on that?
Well, sure. I think our clear counterparts can do certain things that our non-clear counterparts can do. And that's just a fact. And I've had to tell like some of my close coworkers that become like family, like, hey, your drink minimum may need to be 2 or 1, and people have pushed back and was like, no, well, such and such is doing it. I'm like, yeah, she is, but she's not going to be the topic in the break room tomorrow. To work. So, for me, I'm very protective of that space. But there are some coworkers that have become friends and like family to me, and we can hang out. But yeah, I think there's definitely a boundary there.
Yeah, that's a good combo. Okay, so now that we know we can potentially invite friends into our circle from work. Next card. Y'all ready for the next card? This is the last one.
Give us a good one, Renee.
That was okay. Well, it's random.
If it's bad, a different one.
What makes it bad?
If I'll ask this, if it doesn't work for you all, then I'll pick another one because you may be able to say it. Because everybody has said they've had a week. When we got on before, if anybody doesn't know, we get on before for kind of like a brief to make sure we're ready for you all. So everybody was like, oh, it's been a week. It's been a week. I'm so glad it's over. So with that in mind, this is an emotions topic. And it says, can you think of a song or a song lyric that describes how you feel today or felt this week? I got one. I'm going down.
I don't know. What I've been listening to this week. I feel like I'm still high on Renaissance, so I don't know if that really describes a feeling. I need something that says I've been working 9 to 5.
Well, Michael Jackson has a song "Working Day and Night."
So, thank you.
Got me.
Close.
Brandon and I were just talking about the fact that, so how many of us went to the Renaissance tour? If you follow us on social media, if you follow us on Instagram, you know that the family was at the Renaissance tour this year. And one of the things Brandon and I, B. Cal and I were talking about was that it's just playing in our minds. Like we just can't get over Beyonce. Every time that we turn around, we're in our phones looking at her social media. She just celebrated a birthday. And so the Renaissance tour was amazing. Now Tavia said her song is "I Ain't No Killer, But Don't Push Me."
Auntie Tay.
Auntie Tay in the building. Auntie Tay is here, y'all. Just because you don't see her does not mean that she is still not a part of the family. She is very much here. And she said, "I ain't no killer. Don't push me." DJ says, "Hey, Fram. Hey, DJ. Thank you for joining us." Tyrell Murray. "Hey, family, I'm eating, laugh out loud, and looking forward to the chat." Well, we don't mind a good chat and chew. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So today we are talking about X games. We're talking about exes. Exes in relationships, exes in friendships. And the first question that comes to mind is the one where we have to ask ourselves, is it okay to allow exes back into our life? That can be anything: friendships, relationships, boyfriends, girlfriends, best friends, family members. I'm I'm gonna let y'all kick it off on your thoughts. I mean, I know when we introduced this topic, we were like, "Wait a minute, what? This is a good one." And BJ has been looking forward to it. I don't know why, but you know. So, exit. Should we let them back in?
I think there is a space for certain exes, and I will say depending on how they left, for me, that would determine if and when they can come back and how they come back. And I don't believe in circling the block. So once they're ex, they can come back they can come back in as an acquaintance. We can be social, but not in a relationship position.
I don't know if I even believe we can be social. Well, I agree with you. Depending on how they left, that is always a thing. But I don't know if we'll ever be close as we were.
No,
it'll never be the same.
I think that it would be really complicated. And it could kind of blur the lines because, I do agree. Yeah, it depends on how they left. Sometimes we can be, platonic, but in my experience, it don't work.
It don't.
It don't work.
It doesn't work, guys.
It doesn't work.
Well, so. Woo, this.
We haven't heard from you, BK. What?
Well, I'm sorry. Like I said, it's like, when you have a best friend on the line and they know your secrets and whatever.
Go ahead. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about because
no. Woo. I want to hear it.
Oh God. Honestly and truly, I don't. It depends. To me, and I hate to say using the Virgo as an excuse, but when the door is closed, the door is closed. I have made mistakes with opening the door one time, and I shouldn't have because it ended up not being great. So, of course, I feel like that those types of relationships, for me, like Barney said, for me, I don't think that I could open a door to an ex in capacity. Like, we can be cordial, we can be in the same room, and I can speak, but I'm not going to go into, a lot of, what you been up to, how you know what I'm saying? I just can't. I've been put in awkward positions where I've had to speak to an ex in the same room, and I'm very like my face. Those who know me know my face. I wear my face on my sleeve. Like, you can read it, and they were just like, "Brandon, did you just notice what you just did?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
but imagine. With them faces you making, Brandon.
But that's that forgive and forget mentality. Like, it depends on if that person has done you so wrong where you can't forgive them for what they've done to you or how they treated you in the moment. I mean, a lot of us have had, situations where an ex may have cheated, an ex may have put their hands on us, an ex may have, said the wrong thing, cursed us out. It's a lot of things that may have happened. But then again, there might be those ex situations where they just weren't mature enough, or they just didn't have their stuff together, and you didn't have time to baby them or mama them, or father them, or whatever the case may be. And so you like, but then you see them later, and you're like, oh, you got your stuff together, or maybe you can come back in. So, but it's hard to gauge if somebody's changed without allowing them back in and saying, okay, let me give them a chance, at least for a friendship.
Yeah, so I'm still very close with one of my exes, and I think I know that it will always be that way. So, and it has created some tension with relationships after that, or situationships with after that. People will say, "I don't understand how you're still so close with your ex," and I'm like, they're always gonna be family. Is no intimate relation or whatever happening there, but they will always be around. And I'm not willing to cut a person off for somebody else's insecurity, What I am willing to do is introduce, be very respectful of, the new partner and, the relationship, and allow the new individual to go on that journey so that they are ready when they're ready to be introduced and that sort of thing. I won't force it, but I try to be very upfront and honest. Like, this person will always be around because they're family. And I mean, that's just the bottom line for me. Now, there's some people, if I don't ever see them again, I'm completely okay with it. Completely okay with it. So again, for me, it's really how, how the person, what happened in the breakup for me.
That's a good point. I mean,
yeah, I just feel like, I mean, I do agree with you, Barney, that it does.
Yeah, and I will say,
my
I will say, I'm trying to catch some of my friends' comments who has stalkers, so they can't freely comment right now. But they've been commenting, and one of the good comments was, Carmen, they agreed with what you initially said. Said that you was on the right track, but they also made a good point in saying in the community, you're bound to kind of run into your ex, like in community in Atlanta. You're bound to kind of run into your ex, and you have to figure out what that feels like and what that looks like. You literally can probably be sitting at brunch with an ex if you're invited to somebody's random brunch, and do you stay? Do you go? Or how does that work out? I've not encountered that, but I'm not really sure how that would feel for me. But yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, and I do have. I feel like it's a talent sometimes, especially when it comes to these types of situations. Is I could be in the same space and make you feel like you ain't there. Like, oh hey y'all. Anyway, hey y'all. Like, I won't let it. I don't too much. I try not to let it bother me too much. But like with saying that, I know we were talking about just being in the same space and how things kind of ended, but like being heard, I feel like that plays a really big part in how you deal with your exes after they become an ex. Like, if you let go of the hurt, at that point, is it okay to start the conversation about, okay, we can be in each other's presence, especially if y'all have mutual friends?
Here y'all go with these hands. I can't.
I have a question. What if you are the ex? What if you are the one that caused the hurt, or weren't able to be?
I never caused the hurt.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm talking to the man in the mirror.
I'm Kenya Moore. I am always the victim.
I'm always the victim. Okay,
victims. Y'all so victims. I don't have time for these victim games. But I mean, it's crazy because sometimes in our culture, we have a hard time identifying what we have done wrong. And I mean, that's just in conversation. I know me and my husband just had a conversation, and we were talking about how sometimes if he says something or if I say something, it's from my point of view. When he says something, it's from his point of view. And what we want to start trying to make sure we do is own what we do in a situation, or how we talk, how we bring things up. And so sometimes we don't necessarily own our stake in the game when it comes to relationships or friendships. So, I mean, let's talk about that. Like, do you all have problems with saying I was wrong or I could have done this better?
No, I will say, I know I'm probably talking a lot tonight, but I watch your face, be out. But I will say I literally I had this conversation with my best friend that lives in DC, Norman, this week while he was here, and some more friends recently about, for me, that is a deal breaker in a relationship. If you can't own yours, then I got a problem with it. At this big age, like, don't and for me, I think it's a pet peeve for me is like when somebody tries to get me to see their perspective, and I'm like, okay, I hear you, I see your perspective, I own the part that I did wrong, like, and I apologize. But they want to keep drilling, like, and I'm like, but what, are you considering what you did in the situation, and can you own that? Yeah, I did it, but it's the yeah, I did it, but for me, like, you're justifying why you did what you did, and I'm like, don't let it go. Like, once you own that you did it, don't justify it, because we're not going anywhere. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a problem owning my stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Camara. Not as long as it.
I don't have a problem.
Not as long as it's reciprocated.
Hey, sister.
Ooh. You gotta get that Boost Mobile fixed.
I don't have a problem with owning. I know I don't know what's wrong with my face. It's not Boost Mobile. Can y'all hear me?
Extender.
Are you frozen or are you posing? We're not sure right now.
I don't know what's wrong with my face.
I think production, we might need to let Nelly J come out a little bit, and let's see if she can get her service straight. And then let her get in there. Okay. So yeah, no, I think that's good. So Amber Thomas says, I agree with Barney. I don't have an issue taking accountability, but I expect it to be reciprocated. Same thing Camara said. We need reciprocation. I get it. Yeah.
And how do you handle that when you feel like it's not being reciprocated? Like, how many times can you go through that trying to be understanding when the person is continuously not reciprocating or continuously not owning their stuff? Like, how long do you stay in that situation?
And I just had this conversation with somebody. Like, we've had a conversation. We've put everything on the table. I've let you know how I feel. One, you continue to do the same thing. Depending on the level of our friendship, you might get a second conversation. It'll be a different kind of conversation, but it will be a conversation that will say, okay, look, I had this conversation with you before. You're still doing the same thing. And I don't think that we can move forward if you continue to act or do or say what you continue to say. And we might need to go our separate ways. And that's in any relationship or situationship or friendship. I think communication is key to answer your question. You gotta talk it out. And I don't know if that's something that, like we always say, in our big age, because back in the day, I wasn't that person. Back in the day, it was like, I don't have time for this, and I'm not doing it. I'm not. We always talk about my confrontational spirit. I confront it and I move on and I'm gone. But now I take more time to listen to people.
And see, I think I'm the opposite now. I think before, or like we said back in the day, I had more patience with it. Now I'm cutting it off at the knee.
Yeah.
No.
I think I cut it off at the knee if I don't have any time invested. I think if I have time invested in a situation, I think, like we said this before in previous conversations, time determines level, right? So you might be an associate, you're not getting my time. You might be my friend, you might get that one conversation, maybe. But if you're my family or my bestie, like you and Brandon, you and Norman, like, I might give you a little bit more grace, and more conversation, but it's time that determines that. Let's go to the chat. I think we got a few comments. We got a lot of comments. So, Amber, in the past, I have given way too many chances, but now I would say 2 chances. It can build emotional trauma, and communication is key.
That's facts.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, Amber.
Yes.
So for me, I can't necessarily put a number on it. I think for me, it's the situation itself. Because honestly, you do it one time, that could cut you off. But depending on, for me, how hard it hits me emotionally, maybe, I don't know. It can just differ. It can just differ. But at the end of the day, I want my partner to own that shit.
Own it. Now Tavy said it's hard when kids are involved, and I think I don't know if I can speak to that as much, but I think I guess I want to know what she means. Like, is that in a situation where there's a baby daddy and a baby mama, And I think that determines it.
Well, I think that's what
my sister's comment at this big age after we've had a conversation and it hasn't been corrected. I have to accept that this is who you are and cut it off. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's facts.
Kamira.
Yeah.
Just
gotta get okay, sister.
Again, for me, I think I am like her. I'm the opposite. Before I would have given you more chances. Now it's just certain things, and maybe because I have had those experiences in the past, those are now triggers for me. And I will tell you what those triggers are. Now, if you go down that road and you know it's a trigger, then it's on you. That's between you and God. But
I'm real about somebody.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah. Communication, to your point, Quanae, is important. It's important to be upfront and communicate, especially at this big age.
Oh yeah. You gotta be stricter than that. You gotta be stricter than that. That's right. You do. So okay, now Tavy said yes, because you still have to communicate with the person and be around them knowing that they have hurt you.
Oh, that's baby daddy.
That goes back to
mama. To the I get you. Stepdad.
Shout out to Keisha and the kids. I can speak to that. Because I don't care about being the second one's friend. And that, maybe that's just me I'm allowing myself to be transparent with our audience right now, honestly, because what I have endured, I feel like the relationship that I was in with my last ex or whatever, I having to walk away from something and not even being told like why it happened, not being able to get an explanation and having to create my own closure out of the situation, and then having to worry about co-parenting going forward. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to be friends. Now, my oldest daughter, her dad, cool. I speak my piece. I say what I need to say, but we have we're cool. But the second one, God had to come and tap me on my shoulder and say, Carmen, it's okay. You could be their friend, because I don't want to be none of that. And it does make it a lot harder, I guess. But every day get a little easier.
But I think to that point, Carmen, I think that speaks to like letting go of past hurts. Like I'm not at all telling you to let go, because I know firsthand, and I ain't gonna say too much. But what I'm saying is that letting go of past hurts is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what keeps us in that same space where it's like he can't say nothing to me. He can't come into my space, and I'm not moving on. I'm not moving past. So, I mean, how do you all let go of past hurt?
Therapy.
That's good. Yeah.
That's honest for me. Yeah, therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crying.
Absolutely.
Time.
And let's normalize it. I feel like a lot of people feel like therapy is taboo. Like, let's normalize being comfortable with the conversation of, yes, I go to talk to a therapist about the stuff that bothers me.
I think we have evolved a little bit. I think therapy has become a part of the conversation, when for a long time, I think we talked about this, a long time it wasn't. I mean, back when my parents were, growing up, I didn't hear about anybody going to therapy. I didn't hear about anybody going to say, talk to a therapist about past issues or hurts or relationships or anything. And then when you did mention therapy, it was like, I ain't going to talk to that stranger about, that was kind of the mentality. And so now I think at least it's a part of the conversation, especially in the Black culture, African American culture. It's a part of the conversation. You see more commercials, you see more articles about therapy. So I agree, therapy is key, and we need to make it more part of the conversation.
So a question was asked to me, like, what did I do before therapy? So I would be transparent and say I'm basically a PK, And so for those that, preacher's kid or whatever, growing up in the church in the Black community, to your point, we didn't hear about therapy. We were told you pray about it, right? And then, being a part of the community, you also have been, what they would consider either closeted or you're suppressing who you are and that sort of thing. So it's a lot weighing on who you are, right? And so you're suppressing all of that your entire life. And now you're free to be who you completely are, be, living your truth or whatever. And you are more comfortable with therapy. So before I knew what therapy was, yes, I would try to pray about it, talk to my friends that I thought understood, but never really grew beyond that, if that makes sense. You never really healed. So you're still sitting in the hurt because you can't really deal with it like you need to. But now, it's therapy for me. I have to talk to somebody. I've said before, I think for me and my friend group, I'm probably one of the strong friends. So you don't always get to kind of emotionally dump as other people would on you. And that's okay because somebody has to take the bun of it. But for me, I have to have a therapist. And not because anything is specifically going wrong in the moment, but we're going to talk. Me and my therapist is going to talk at least once a month. I won't date anybody. If anybody's listening that's interested, I'm not dating nobody that ain't in therapy.
Put it out there then. Put yourself out there then, brother. Okay. But Amber says get a new one, but time, genuine support from loved ones, and therapy. African Americans have an issue with openly expressing the need to seek professional help, but it is absolutely all right. It is all right. It definitely is all right. What about like forgiving yourself? A lot of times we are in relationships and we think it's us, like, oh, this relationship ended, it must be me, it must be something that I did. And even if you did do something, or even if you were a part of the reason, I know we are victims on this podcast, but even if you did do something, forgiving yourself for it not being successful, because we're human, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we don't give ourselves grace. We'll give everybody else grace, but we don't say, okay, look, it's okay. You have a lot, and this specifically with friendship, because friends sometimes hold us more accountable to be there for them, not necessarily understanding that we have lives, we have children, we have jobs or whatever, extracurricular activities, whatever. And sometimes friends are like, well, you didn't call me, or you didn't do this with me, or you didn't go out with me on this. And it's like, what up now? I can't always be there when at the drop of a hat, when you need me to be there, or when you want me to come. And so give yourself grace to say, it's okay if you can't show up, because you got X, Y, and Z going on in your life, and it's okay to be human and say no sometimes. So yeah,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Amber said, "Ooh, I think that's the hardest pill." It went away. That's the hardest pill to swallow, forgiving yourself. But you can do it. You can do it, Amber. You can forgive yourself and grow in grace. Oh, we got another comment. We have to remember that we deserve grace as well. Exactly. Be it a failed friendship or relationship, grace needed for self is important. Amen.
That's true. That's the word for the people.
The word for the people. Forgive yourself and give yourself grace. All right. So
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So how do you feel if your friends are still friends with your ex, knowing how the breakup happened? Hello.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one.
Let me answer this one. Can I answer this one?
Nobody had anything to say. Go ahead, B Cal.
Now, if my friend has cut all ties with his ex, then I'm going to cut off all ties with that ex, regardless of my friendship with, or my relationship with my friend's ex. I
What
will
about
say
social
that,
media?
huh?
What about social media?
Good question.
Yeah. So even with social media, I mean, honestly, and I'm trying to be not so direct. So even with social media, I'm not friends with, for instance, if it's my best friend's ex, I'm not friends with them on social media. Now, there was one instance there's one instance. Now, there was one instance on LinkedIn.
Feel it.
LinkedIn, which is just work.
Where my teacup at? Wait.
Cedric said in the comment they know better.
But LinkedIn, like I'm just saying, LinkedIn, that's it. Like, and we're not even conversing on
But
LinkedIn.
let's bring that social into the conversation, because a lot of people think that social media is not real interaction. They think that, social media is just, I'm looking at your pictures, I'm looking at your stories. I'm not really talking to you. I haven't unfriended you though because of X, Y, and Z. But that's still connection. So that's a good one. That's a good question, brother.
So I'm just okay for me. Like, again, that's why I said depending on how, if they are aware of how the breakup happened, then I think you have to be respectful of that. Like for me, I'm gonna feel a ways if it was like a bad breakup and the friends know, and y'all still hanging out, social media, all of that. I see you. Like I'm
we're on fire today.
What if both of y'all? What if both of y'all? Like, let's say B Cal. What if your friend, that outside of your main like circle of friends, is interested in one of the friends in your circle, and they end up dating and
Wait,
don't
go
work
back.
out?
Go back.
No.
Wait a minute. Go
We're
back.
not doing that.
Wait, say it again. Say it again.
So what if B Cal has a friend outside of his main friend circle that has interest in someone in his main circle, and they enter into cahoots with each other, but then it doesn't end well and they split ways? How do you handle that without feeling like you're the middle person?
We kind of hit on that last week. So basically, if they break up, are we still cool with the outside circle friend and the inside circle friend?
Right.
I mean, they outside the circle, so they don't never necessarily have to be in the same spaces. Oh, but the inside circle friend is closer.
I think that's
nobody tell them to get together in the first place.
Right. How did they end up together?
Is that off limits? Do you tell your friends in the beginning, like, nope, don't do it?
Yeah,
absolutely. Because you're saying that's a friend, right? So if you're a friend, then I'm gonna tell you, you saw how they treated me, so why would you even try to go after that?
Exactly.
And again, that's one of those, oh, I see who you are.
Yeah.
No.
We're not doing that.
Agree.
Yeah,
where does your loyalty lie?
That's what I think Cedric just said, something about loyalty. He said, you already know the answer. Stop playing. My loyalty is my loyalty is to my friend, period.
That's all I'm saying.
But the other one is your friend too, Cedric. That's the issue. The other friend is just not in the main friend circle.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah. I have to let my friends know. You do. You have to whenever you introduce a new person into the circle. I think we've had these conversations within this family where that my friend may say, Quene, so, and I know people warn people about me. So they be like, okay, my sister, I know Carmen do, whatever. I understand because, I'm an acquired taste. So warn on. But what I'm saying is you have to talk to your friends and say, this is my friend. She will be here. She's straight up. No chaser. And you either love it or you don't. That's pretty much always. So you have to warn people. Okay, y'all. This is good. This is good conversation. So we have Well, I keep them separate. Oh, okay, Cedric, you keep them separate. I will give a warning, and if you go over there, then that's my point. If you went over there, I gave you a warning.
That's just true.
If you go over there and you started, then okay, mama. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
My mama is in the chat.
I be telling people.
Yeah.
I be telling people when they finna get you.
But I always mean, and the thing about it is that to know your friends is to know, even if you have those bold, outspoken friends, like you to know them is to know if they have good intentions or not. And so, when they say certain things or when they do certain things, the intention behind it and the love behind it is genuine. And so, especially with me, when it comes to my friendships, I take stuff personally. So y'all don't come tell me nothing about nobody doing nothing unless you want me to confront it, or at least I won't be nice if they didn't hurt you. So that's just my thing. Like, don't hurt my people, don't hurt my friends and people that I love, and come in my face and say, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?"
What happens when a friend tries to talk to your ex and your ex doesn't make you aware of it?
BJ, did you miss your therapy session this week?
No, I'm just asking the questions.
Golly, you coming with these doozies? Say it again.
What happens when your so-called friend tries to talk to your ex doesn't say anything to you about it or that friend, and you just find out? What happens in that instance?
So I would talk to the friend.
Both of them out.
I wouldn't even talk to the ex. I wouldn't talk to the ex.
Yeah.
Why? It would be the friend.
Well, I'm talking about
cut
I don't know if I would talk to the ex, because I guess the ex is trying to be messy. You know what I'm saying? But you as my friend should know better to entertain something like that. Like, what we went through. Why would you even go over there and talk to this person?
Why would you not tell me?
And why would you not tell me?
Right.
So that's a bigger, that's a friend issue. Like, we have a problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cedric, that's foul. That's foul.
Like Nene has said, that's a character flaw.
I think it's both. I think it's on both parts though. For me, it will be on both parts. One of my friends texted me and said, "Where is the way to text hell gift?"
But why? Okay, so this is where I am. Why do you feel, BJ, that you should expect something better from the ex?
Again, for me, it depends on how the breakup happened.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at it like it happened badly. So from a perspective of a hypothetical that you all broke up, you and the ex broke up, and you cut ties. You don't want nothing to do with him. Do you still have an expectation that he should be genuine to you or have some type of loyalty to you, or stay away from your friend circle?
I still think so. Yeah, absolutely. Even if we broke up badly, I still would not expect you to try to go. If you did, then that's absolutely messy, right? That is the negative side of it. For me, if it's the positive side, it wasn't a bad breakup, mutual, boom. But you're now entertaining a current friend, and a current friend is entertaining you. I'm talking to both, and the conversation is it's going down like the Titanic.
So I don't think it's necessarily about an expectation, Quinay. I think it's just a matter of disrespect and needing to address it regardless of what your expectation is. So yes, you need to have an expectation when it comes to your friend, that they won't even stoop to that level. But on the side where it comes to your ex, it's like, no, you got me twisted. So because you disrespected me, now I got to come at you.
But do they owe you respect? See, I feel like you all are putting, I feel like
anything to do with what I expect. It was just
no. Do they owe you respect? I feel like you all are putting the ex or the ex friend in a position that they owe you something. They don't owe you anything. They're separate. So I
agree. Yeah, I agree, and I don't agree. Right? The ex doesn't owe me anything, but I feel like at this big age, people should know better. And you know, people don't like to hear that. People don't like to hear that. You should know better.
You should. You should know not to buy a house.
Renee, I'm gonna just cut them out because it's gonna make me feel better.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You shouldn't. I don't think you heard me. I think the expectation is that you expect that the people should have respect.
That's a good point.
You expect that people should know better. You expect that people have loyalty, but they buy a house up the street.
Ooh, my God, today. Oh my God.
Jesus.
See,
my.
So what about those 3 cars?
Okay.
Bring out all the stuff. Okay. Bring out all the stuff.
Okay. This is got it.
I'm just trying to make it live. Did you read it? It's in the word.
Yeah, that
you making it live.
It's living.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Praise the Lord. I'm walking heavy tonight. I'm walking a little heavy tonight.
You know what, DJ? It's a little flattering.
It is a little. Is it though?
No.
It's creepy.
Go to the next topic.
Okay, we gonna go to the next topic. All right, but no, our producers are in the back, like wrap this up.
This is a good conversation, though.
Going left, but no, it is great conversation. It's great conversation. I thank everyone that has been in the chat, talking to us, giving us feedback. Thank you for sure, Cedric. I've never seen you in the chat. You really given us a lot of comments today. Thank you so much for engaging with the family on this topic. We knew it was going to be a doozy. We knew it was going to be one that everybody had something to say. But if you still have comments, those of you that are watching the playback, if you don't see the red box, the red live box at the top, that means it's the playback. But that does not mean that you cannot leave a comment and engage us. We see those comments and we will respond. Thank you. I sure did. Keon in the background. Don't come for my 3 calls. I got a new one. Okay, but anyway, but y'all, the producers are in the background messing with us, and that's who I'm responding to. But you get anything on the family. It's all love and it's all fun. So let me let y'all know what's coming up with the family agenda. We are very excited to welcome our first lady of the Covenant Church. Those of us that go to the Covenant Church, in the comments, just give a little whoop whoop for Dr. April Carswell. She will be our next guest on Family Fridays, and we're going to ask the question, hey Fram, are you okay? We've kind of touched on therapy, we've kind of touched on mental health, but she's coming to the table and she's going to talk with us on Friday, September 29th at our next Family Agenda, Family Fridays, and we're going to ask y'all that question. Please tell a friend. This is going to be a good one. She has a lot to say. She is a real doctor. She has a real degree, and she is coming to spread some knowledge and some personal stories and all of that. We getting all up in her business. So if you want to hear and talk and listen to Dr. April Carswell and the family, just join us on September 29th, next the last Friday of this month for Family Fridays. Also, listen, we support our people. Be you. If you haven't done so already, our own production manager in the background, Keon, BU Lifestyle brand is still available. It's still available, you all. Get those discounts. The Fram promo code is still available. This is the last month that you're going to get this little 30% promo code now. So go on there and get your BU t-shirt, get your BU hat. If you would like us to promote your business or promote anything with you, please email us at the Lord, y'all, I know the covenant. Please email us at thefamilyagenda@gmail.com. Y'all, I got big jobs. Thefamilyagenda@gmail.com. Let us know that you want us to promote your business. And then we'll ask you, just send us some love. We have a Cash App, y'all. We have a Cash App. If you want to donate to us, help us support these many platforms that we have to support this podcast and this stream. Just Cash App us at $Family Agenda, $Family Agenda, or scan that code on your screen to just show us some love and send us some support. Y'all got anything else to add or say?
Yes, if you would like to send anything to my Cash App for my birthday, hashtag.
Yes, y'all, it was Decal's birthday. Woo woo! Happy birthday! Oh, yeah.
They say I'm doing like Blue Ivy. Thank you.
Okay.
No, what is the other one, Big Cal?
Right.
No, so thank y'all so much. Thank you all so much for joining us. The Family Agenda is here to stay, and we love you all, and we love your engagement. Again, until next time, we'll see you all on September 29th for our Hey Fram, Are You Okay? With Dr. April Carswell. Until next time, y'all, we love you. God bless you.
One moment.